The prisoner who invented Lamborghini. You are a tractor driver, a farmer. You shouldn't complain about my cars. They're the best in the world. Enzo to Ferruccio. It's amazing how a small insult could inspire you to make one of the best supercars in the world. Let's rewind and start. Ferruccio Elio Arturo Lamborghini was born on 28th of April 1916 on a farm of Rinazzo, Italy. His parents were farmers, but unlike his parents he didn't want to be a farmer as he was more drawn towards farming machinery. Ferruccio soon decided he wanted to do something with mechanics. He started working on his father's tractor out of interest and later attended the Fratelli Taddeo Technical Institute in Bologna later on. After completing his graduation, Ferruccio never looked back and started training with a master blacksmith who shared all of his ironworks and welding secrets. During the Second World War he was enrolled into the Italian Air Force, working for the transport sections. Lamborghini was taken prisoner when the island fell to the British at the end of the war in 1945, and was not able to return home until the next year. He was put to work in their motoring department. This way Ferruccio got first-hand experience keeping cars on the road, even with limited part supplies. When Ferruccio returned home, his life wasn't exactly how he imagined, and his wife Clelia passed away while giving birth to his first and only child named Tonino. After World War II, Lamborghini opened a garage in Pieve di Cento. First, he modified an old Fiat Topolino he had purchased some time back. He later used his skills and mechanical abilities to transform city cars into roaring 750cc open-top two-seater and entered the cars in the 1948 Mille Miglia. He also fixed pre-war vehicles, lorries and tractors. Italy was badly affected by the war and needed to recover desperately. One day, Ferruccio's father called him, requested him that he needed a new tractor. It was through its agricultural production that would help Italy recover faster. In order for faster agricultural production, it needed better equipment. He once had a problem with his Ferrari and took it for repairing and discovered that the clutch fitted to this Ferrari wasn't any different from the ones Lamborghini mounted in their tractors. So he drove the Ferrari to the Cento factory and had a Borg and Beck clutch installed straight from the parts list of one of the tractor models. He decided to personally complain about it to Enzo Ferrari. To which Enzo brushed him off and said the problem was with him and not his car. Enzo said, "You are a tractor driver, a farmer. You shouldn't complain about my cars. They are the best in the world." Driven by the insult, Ferruccio decided to make his very own supercar. He formed a new company under his name and hired 3 of Ferrari's ex-employees and bought a large land to build a factory. In about 9 months, Ferruccio completed his first sports car that featured his astrological sign as the emblem. The car was known as the Lamborghini 350 GT. It was considered as a technical masterpiece and included a V12 engine, 5-speed transmission, 4-wheel disc brake and 4-wheel independent suspension. This car was unveiled at the Turin Motor Show and was praised by the customers as well as critics. Over the next few years, Ferruccio's business flourished, and when it came to designing new models, Ferruccio gave his engineers freedom to experiment. His team built the 400 GT and the Miura P400. The Miura was developed as a street car and was the first in history to be made with a rear mid-engine layout. It was known as the world's first supercar, and its engine layout became the standard for all high-performance cars. Lamborghini Trattori continued his successful business and made more celebrated models like the Espada, the Islero, the Jarama, the Arauco and the famous Countach. The success of the 60s was followed by the crisis of the 70s, triggered by a slack economic situation, strikes and intensified regulations in the United States market. A big tractor transaction that had been agreed with the Bolivian government failed at the last moment in 1972. To support his agricultural machinery company, Ferruccio Lamborghini sold 51% of the shares in the motorcar company to the Swiss national Georges Henri Rossetti. 1 year later he sold off the remaining 49% to René Lima, a colleague of Rossetti. At roughly the same time he lost confidence in the tractor business and sold it to the competing Italian Same Group, which continues to manage it up to the present day under the old brand name. Lamborghini kept only the heating segment as well as another newly formed company by the name of Oleodinamica which produced hydraulic valves, and he appointed his son, Tonino, as the manager of this company. He led the life of a prosperous winemaker in Panicarola/Umbria near to the Trasimenic Lake and set up a small private museum. Ferruccio Lamborghini, who all his life had always felt best rolling up his sleeves, returned to his roots. He planted grapes to bottle traditional wines including Sangiovese, Gamay, Ciliegiolo, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. His red wine came onto the market with the name Colli di Trasimeno. It quickly acquired the colloquial name Sangue di Mura, Mura blood. Lamborghini's wines have received many awards. They are well established in the international high-end segment due to their exceptional quality. Ferruccio Lamborghini, who was awarded the title Commendatore and knighted Cavaliere del Lavoro, Knight of Work, passed away of a heart attack on February 20, 1993 and was buried in his hometown in Renazzo.